What's up guys, and welcome to the next squad building challenge video. Tonight EA released two brand new hybrid squad building challenge sets, one featuring North American nations and the next one that we'll do right now about South American nations. If you haven't seen the first one about the North American ones, check out the video on the channel. We've done that already, but now it's all about the South American nations. This set is definitely rewarding in terms of the packs that you get. In total, the packs that you get are worth 180,000 coins, and it features amongst others a rare players and a prime players pack. You also get a kit that doesn't look too nice actually, so I definitely won't use that, but I'll definitely open the packs at the end of this video. As I said, the challenges are somewhat difficult. No, not super difficult, but they are definitely more challenging than the North American counterparts. The nations that are featured are Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and Uruguay. Let's start with Uruguay. And the requirements are, obviously you need Uruguayan players, you need 3 of them, and you can have at most 5 players from the same nation, and you need to have exactly 4 leagues in that team, and 3 of the players need to be rare. So what I did, I started with the Uruguayan players. I actually used 4 of them to have one for every league that I'll use, which comes in handy if you look at the tactic that I used or the way how I built chemistry. So I have 1 Uruguayan player from the Spanish league, I have 1 Uruguayan player from the English league, I have 1 from the Calcio A, and 1 from the Portuguese Liga NOS. So given that this is a 4-3-3 formation, the way how you get the most chemistry out of this formation is basically have a center string of players, a left string, and a right string. The right string doesn't work too nice here, so I connected it with the top players, and I'll walk you through the tactics right now how to get chemistry. So start with the left side, for instance. I started with the Uruguayan player, the left winger, so I connected him to a player from the same club to get the maximum amount of chemistry, and then I use another player from that same league, in this case a player from Valencia, to connect to the other Liga BBVA player. The Uruguayan player from the English league is connected to another player from his club to get the maximum amount of chemistry, and so is the Italian, the Uruguayan player from the Italian league. He also is connected to other players from the Italian league, plus the I think Pereira it is, the right back, the Uruguayan right back from Porto, is also connected from another player from his league. So this way you don't have any Uruguayan player without any working links. And also if you have the right nationalities, as I have in this defensive triangle at the bottom, you obviously also get a nice amount of chemistry. In this case you get, as these players were bought, you only get 9, but in general you would get 30 out of this triangle. And any of the other green links will also give you a nice amount of chemistry. You need 95 chemistry, which we'll perfectly manage here. For some players I had to use position changes, so for instance Carvalho is usually a center defensive mid. I converted him to center mid to get that extra 1 point in chemistry, which we'll definitely need to get to 95, and overall you need to submit a 79 rated squad, which will also hit perfectly. So with that said, let's submit this team. We get I think a premium gold players pack it is, yes, and also 2,000 extra coins. In terms of the pack, this is the worst pack, guys. A premium gold players pack is the worst pack out of those 4 challenges. So let's move up to the next best pack, which is a rare gold pack that we'll get from the Colombian team. The Colombian team, basically the same strategy as before. We have a left string of players that get perfect chemistry, we have a right string of players that get perfect chemistry, and we have basically a center diamond. Obviously you need Colombian players in this team as well, and in this case you need 3 once again. I have Baca as one of my Colombian players. I have Sanchez, I think it is, from Fiorentina as the other one, and Murillo from Inter as the third Colombian player. All of them from the Serie A. So to form this diamond, I added Jorginho from Napoli to have the maximum of players from one league. In this case is 4. So I completed the Serie A part of this team. Perfect chemistry from this diamond, and then I started building the left and the right string of the team. Let's start with the left side. For instance, I have Niang up top, a left winger from Watford, and then I connected him to other Watford players to get the maximum amount of chemistry here. The right string of that team is, obviously you need 3 different, well, you need at least 4 different leagues here. No, not 4 different leagues, but you can have at maximum 4 players from the same league. You need 4 different leagues in this one, 3 different leagues at least. So as I had the Premier League already covered, I had Serie A covered, I looked for another league that would fit nicely, and I found the Liga BBVA. We have Carlos Vela up top, a right winger here, and we connected him to another player from the same team, San Sebastian, to get the perfect amount of chemistry, and then connect the Spanish player to another Spanish player, and that Spanish player connects to the player from the same club to also get 10 chemistry each. Overall, again, you need 95 chemistry. We get 96, so that is perfectly fine. Again, 79 rated squad, which we also hit perfectly. And you need to have at least 6 rare players, which shouldn't be too difficult either if you have the right leagues featured. And obviously, Serie A, Liga BBVA, and the Premier League, they offer loads of rare players, so that shouldn't be an issue at all, especially if you consider the rating. So just to get to this rating, you definitely need rare players in any case. Let's submit this team as well for a rare gold pack and also 3,000 coins. Then we have the two more difficult ones, Argentina and Brazil. Let's start with Argentina, as I think the Brazil one is the most difficult one. In this case, you need at least 5 Argentinian players and to have at least 4 different nationalities, and you can only have 4 players from the same league. So again, it's the total hybrid team here. In this case, you need an 80 rated team and again, 95 chemistry. So what did I do? Obviously, you can only have 4 players from the same team, from the same league. So I started again with the Argentinian players, and I have 2 from Liga BBVA. I have Garay, which is actually a perfect player for those hybrid challenges. He has a perfect team, he has a perfect league, he has a perfect nationality, so he works really well in those squad building challenges. I have Garay and another player from Celta Vigo, that are both Argentinian, and then I used 2 other players from Liga BBVA to form this bottom set of players that get perfect chemistry already. Then I moved on the left side to use all the remaining Argentinian players that I need. We need 5 of them in total, so I have Banega, Palacios, I think it is, and another player from Argentinian player from the Argentinian league. And then I used Banega and Palacios to build a part of the team that is only Calcio A. So we have a player from Lazio and a player from Udine, and then we have 2 remaining slots open. And in order to get the maximum amount of chemistry from those 2 spots, I obviously had to use somewhat of a perfect link here. I used 2 English players from the same league. They're not from the same club though, but as the other parts of the team are pretty well connected, we only had to get 7 chemistry from each of them in order to get to 95 overall. Also, we hit the 80 rating perfectly, and obviously, as you can see on the left side, all the other requirements in terms of rare players, in terms of maximum leagues, and all the others are also perfectly met. So let's submit this team as well for a prime gold players pack, so a 45k pack. That is actually the best pack of those individual challenges, at least in terms of the price that it costs if you were to purchase it on the market. But I think the Brazil squad is a little bit more difficult to complete. It's also the one that needs the highest rating, and for some reason we just submitted a goalkeeper here, which was not really smart on our part, but I exactly knew who I was using. I was using a Calcio A goalkeeper here, and I think we have some of them in the team for sure. Let's use the Romanian one here, which doesn't work for some reason. I think I knew who I was using, in fact. Let's quickly buy him from the market. I was using the player from, what was the team again that I was using? Let's see. Was it Villaviano? I think it was Villaviano. Yes, that was exactly the guy I was looking for. I must have submitted him one of the earlier challenges, which is obviously always the risk if you build a couple of teams ahead of time, to not have overlapping players here. So let's quickly buy him on the market. It shouldn't be too expensive, as he's from not from one of those special leagues, so he's not Brazilian obviously, and he's also not from any of the teams that is featured in the current marquee matchup set. So let's search for him on the transfer market. Let's buy the first one that we'll see for 900, which is perfectly fine. And he is added to the club, and we can indeed submit the team right now. We don't have the exact amount of chemistry, but we can get a little bit more chemistry by converting this Bernard guy. He's used in a center defensive mid. He is a chem though, but by bringing him to the center mid position, he should already get an extra point of chemistry, and we should be fine overall. He gets actually 3 additional chemistry points, so now we should be fine to submit the team. Yes, we are. So let's start from scratch. What is this challenge all about? It's obviously about Brazilian players, and you need at least 7 Brazilian players. So that is probably the most restrictive requirement out of all the 4 challenges that we do in this video. And we can only have 2 different nationalities. So it's Brazilian or another, let's say, mystery nationality. In this case, as you can see at the bottom of my team, I use an Italian player. You don't have to use 10 Brazilian players, which is what I did. You can only also use 7 plus 4 from another nationality, but I think it was easier to get the overall chemistry right with the way I did it. You also need 10 different leagues, so it's actually a super hybrid team. And as you can see, I used 10 Brazilian players from 10 different leagues. Some of the Brazilian players that you might want to use, they're not price fixed completely, but the prices increased quite a bit. I was looking at one Brazilian center back from the Greece league, and he was going for around 6K, given that he was gold and a rare player at the same time. So I have Brazilian players from a bunch of different leagues. So I have one from the Russian league. He's usually a cam, but I convert him to a striker to get the perfect amount of chemistry. So we have the Russian league, the English league, the American league, Spanish league, German league, Portuguese league, Italian league, Ukrainian league, Dutch league at the bottom here, the center back, and the French league for Lucas. Also, you need to have at least 2 different you need to have the second nationality in here. So you need to connect either of the 3 center backs to a goalkeeper from the same league. So I could have used one from the Liga NOS, from Calcio A, which is what I did, or to another goalkeeper from the Eredivisie. And as you can see, we picked a Calcio A goalkeeper. Well, that's it. We're done basically with all the challenges. Let's submit this team as well. We get 1,000 coins plus a mega pack, so that is a 35k pack. And by submitting this team, we also complete the overall challenge, which rewards us with, as I said before, this somewhat weird kit, which I think doesn't look too nice, but obviously we also get the rare players pack, so that is a 50k pack. Overall investments that were necessary. Obviously we had to buy the player again, the Italian goalkeeper, and I think I also bought Lucas, but this was basically all I had to invest. So let's say this was around 5,000 coins, and the packs that we get are worth 180,000 coins, guys. It's definitely worth completing these challenges. The hybrid challenges in general are pretty rewarding. It's somewhat of a puzzle sometimes, obviously, but if you've seen my team, and there's a bunch of different solutions obviously available that you can find on the internet. Once you have the structure done, how you want to build your team, it's just about filling those positions with the respective players. Let's open the 5 packs that we got, and obviously these packs should be pretty rewarding. Not sure if you have checked out the other hybrid challenge that was just released, the North American one. We also did a video on that one, and you can find this on the channel. It's super cheap, no investments needed, but obviously the rewards aren't also, they definitely weren't rewarding. Bunch of silver packs, 2 gold packs, I think. We didn't pull anything amazing in there. Anyway, let's start with the packs that we got. Let's start with the premium gold players pack, I would say. So 3 players that shouldn't be too bad. We get Zenit, so we get Witzel from Zenit, a pretty decent player for squad building challenges. The Russian league in general is then definitely useful for those SBCs. We also get 1 player from Gokon, which is nice, given that I haven't completed the league or challenge yet. Other than that, I think we just submitted Botiguin in the Brazilian squad, but the other players, pretty average pack, I would say. We get a perfect link here. Afellay, Dutch and from Stoke, and Martins Indy, also Dutch and from Stoke. So that is a nice little feature. In terms of value, it's an average pack. These players will definitely sell, but the players that we kept, they weren't too great. Witzel obviously useful for the future. Next up, I would say we open the mega pack, so the 35k pack that is. Let's see what we get in this one. Obviously a bunch of consumables that should go into our club at some point. We get Ziyech as the best player, apparently, Moroccan player from Ajax. So again, one of those packs that isn't too great in terms of the players that we get. Let's check the other players and especially check the leagues and whether they're useful. And apparently not really. Bundesliga might be one of the leagues that is released next as a squad building challenge, given that the Liga BBVA and Calcio A was already released. So it is a pretty valid assumption to say that next up will be either the Bundesliga or the Premier League. Let's check the duplicates real quick. Anything worth mentioning in here? Not really. So let's send all the other stuff to the team. Let's collect the additional 1,000 coins and then send the others to the... That's a pretty decent kit as well. I'm assuming I will sell. So we send this to the transfer market as well. Discard the black ball. And then we have 3 packs left. Hopefully the 3 packs will be more rewarding than the first 2. Let's go with the... What do we go next with? I think the Red Gold pack. Another 25k pack. And then we have the 2 great ones as the main event. 3 rare players in this one, apparently, given that the... we get Musonda, the Chelsea player from Belgium. Let's see what else is in there. Halilovic, who just transferred to Las Palmas, I think. Yes, it is, from Hamburg. Again, pretty low rated players. And another 76 rated player from Argentina. Not sure why the packs aren't as rewarding as they usually are. The other pack opening wasn't too great. This one doesn't seem to be too good either. But we have the 2 main event packs. We have the 45k and the 50k pack, guys. Let's start with the 45k pack. Prime Gold Players pack. 12 players, 10 of them being gold and 6 of them being rare. Obviously, you want the gold players to be the rare ones. Let's see what we get. James Rodriguez on the pack. What do we get? No big flair again. As we get Vermaelen, that is from Roma, the Belgian center back. 81 rated. I was assuming a better player from a Prime Gold Players pack. And again, the other players aren't too great either. Ilustondo from Bilbao, obviously good for the Liga BBVA challenge that I'll try to complete over time. Another perfect link here, guys. Ilustondo and Rico, both of them being Spanish and both of them playing for Athletic Bilbao. Another player from Rennes, which is also useful, but again, for a 45k pack, I would definitely expect more. Hopefully this means that the 50k pack is even better, but as you know, EA, it doesn't have to mean that at all, so it'll probably be another average pack. Final pack, Rare Players pack. That is the overall reward from the South American Tour Squad Building Challenge. Let's open it. Let's see what we get. 50k pack, a bunch of special cards out there, and we don't even get a rare player, EA. What's this? We get Lars Bender, the center defensive mid from Bayer Leverkusen. 83 rated. Is there any other player worth mentioning? Not really. What a pack. 50k pack. We get Bender, Navas, and Wilshere as the best rated players, at least. Let's see what any player in here that is worth mentioning that might go for a little bit. Not really. Definitely disappointing pack opening, given that it was somewhat challenging to complete the nations here, especially the Brazil one. I'm definitely disappointed, guys. Let's send all these to the club and the rest to the transfer market and I'll sell them afterwards. But let me know in the comments down below what you packed. How much did you have to invest to complete this challenge? Hopefully not a lot, but I definitely hope you had better luck with pulling players. I mean, all those players will sell, but I think the value that I get, not sure that I don't think I made a loss here, but I definitely don't think I made a big gain either. I submitted Costa from Bayern Munich, who goes for around 9k, and the players that I got definitely weren't worth 1k, at least not individually, maybe collectively though. Anyway, guys, we're done with this video as well. I definitely like these puzzling challenges, the more difficult hybrid ones. Let me know, as I said before, let me know in the comments down below how much you had to invest to complete this one, and also which player you pulled as a reward. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video, guys.